A Pigeon's Story. On the rooftop of an old stately building, a young pigeon just broke through its eggshell. The first world for the baby pigeon was a simple nest and the warmth of its mother. The tiny pigeon opened its pretty yellow beak, waiting for food. The mother pigeon fed her young one nutritious crop milk. Each day, the pigeon grew a little bigger, its soft, downy feathers thickening. It curiously looked out at the world from the edge of the nest, a pigeon yearning for the sky. It watched the other adult pigeons fly with ease. The lesson of flight is the biggest challenge in the life of a pigeon. The wings of the young pigeon were still weak, but had begun to flap strongly. After many attempts, the pigeon finally managed to fly. The feeling of freedom in the air was a magical experience for the pigeon. It joined the flock, becoming a true city pigeon. The life of an urban pigeon is one of flights in search of food. The whole flock of pigeons often perched on the statues in the square. The young pigeon learned to avoid the bustling crowds of people and traffic. It enjoyed pecking at breadcrumbs that a kind old woman scattered for the flock of pigeons. The sound of hundreds of pigeons taking flight at once was impressive. The low, warm cooing of the pigeon species is part of the city's soundtrack. But inside this pigeon, there was something different. It carried the bloodline of the noble homing pigeon. The instinct for navigation and the desire for a long journey always existed in the pigeon. One day, a little girl with kind eyes approached the pigeon. She gently tied a small blue ribbon to the pigeon's leg. This unexpected mission awakened the instinct of the pigeon. It understood it had been chosen, a dove carrying hope. The pigeon raised its head, looking toward the distant horizon. After saying goodbye to the little girl, the pigeon took flight, beginning its journey. This was not an ordinary flight for a pigeon. It flew higher, past the familiar rooftops of the city. The wings of the pigeon beat powerfully and with determination. It flew over green parks and rivers that wound through the city. The world as seen from the pigeon's eyes was vast and colorful. The pigeon had to face its first challenge, a sudden thunderstorm. Strong winds tried to push the small body of the pigeon, but the resilience of a homing dove is not easily defeated. It skillfully rode the wind currents, maintaining its course. After passing through the storm, the pigeon continued its journey. The sunlight dried the soaked feathers of the pigeon. A hawk suddenly appeared, a deadly threat to the pigeon. The pigeon had to use all its speed and agility to evade it. It abruptly dropped its altitude, weaving through narrow canyons. Finally, the predator was left behind. The pigeon was safe. The blue ribbon on the pigeon's leg was still there, intact. It was a reminder of the mission that the dove was carrying. After a long day of nonstop flight, the pigeon saw its destination. It was a small town resting peacefully by the seashore. Instinct told the pigeon that this was the place it needed to be. It circled a few times in the town sky, looking for a sign. It gently landed near the boy, a dove carrying a message. The boy was surprised to see the ribbon on the pigeon's leg. The mission of the dove was completed perfectly. It had connected two distant souls with the wings of a pigeon. The pigeon felt a deep joy flooding its heart. It cooed happily before taking off to fly back. The return journey seemed lighter for the pigeon. It was no longer just an ordinary pigeon. It was a messenger of joy, a symbol of connection. It flew over fields and mountains on its way home. Finally, the familiar rooftops of the city appeared before the pigeon again. It gently landed on the rooftop, ending its long journey. The pigeon tucked its head into its wing, tired but incredibly content. The little girl from before was waiting, smiling when she saw the pigeon's return. She knew that her brave pigeon had done something wonderful. The story of the courageous dove will remain a beautiful secret, because every pigeon could be a silent messenger. They carry hope on the wings of a dove, and in the sky above, thousands of pigeons are still flying, connecting the world.